Welcome everybody back to the Dragon Slayer. My name is Wade, and this is my show Let's Talk, where we're talking about Warhammer 40k. Super exciting news, Tyranid players, fellow Hive Mind. We have new rules. So the new data slate came out with the new points for Pariah Nexus. This is the end of June of 2024. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. I'm going to break these things up here. So we have some changes to our basic army rules, and they're good changes. Okay, so Synapse is basically the same. It's still a 6-inch bubble, and you're still going to take battle shock tests on 3d6 instead of two. And anything that increases, like a Norn Crown or anything like that, increases the bubble to 9 or 12 or whatever. Anyways, the thing that's different now is if you are inside of Synapse, you get +1 to your strength characteristic. So now you're talking about a 20-man of Hormagaunts can now be strength 4 if you have them inside of Synapse. A big thing that this is the big advantage to is things that provide their own Synapse. Hive Tyrants, Male Scepters, Norn Emissaries, anything that's a big, beefy monster that provides its own Synapse is giving itself a +1 strength now. In many cases, this means that your monster is now hitting strength 10. A lot of those were 9s. You're now open to 10. And the reason why that is a big difference is because it opens up double toughing tough 5 things. So, and that's a lot of elite infantry is tough 5. So you're gonna get more kills. You're gonna get way more kills, needing 2 pluses as opposed to 3 pluses. So that's a pretty big and pretty cool thing that I really like that we have now, and it makes sense. It makes sense. So you can see in the red where the changes are there. Shadow in the Warp. The big change with Shadow in the Warp um, is when you cause a Shadow in the Warp battle shock test. If your opponent is within Synapse, is within 6 inches, you're going to subtract 1 from that test. And I do believe it stacks with Neuro Tyrants. Because that is not like the rule where you can't go more than a +1 or -1. Um, but talk about that in the comments. If you agree, sound off. If you don't agree, let me know. So that's our basic rules there. The next place is Crusher Stampede. Got some cool stuff, and I really hope we're moving in a different direction with Crusher Stampede, and I'll get there in a second. So one of the big things here now is see the red there. Monstrous units from your army, excluding Battleshock units, that is at its starting strength. So for this, that means no wounds on it. Starting strength, add 2 to the objective control. I don't think that's going to make a big deal because somebody can just chip a wound off and then it's no longer at starting strength and then its objective control goes down. But usually the bigs have a pretty decent objective control. Anyways, so here's the really cool thing. So this untrammeled ferocity stratagem, it used to just allow you to move through enemies as if they were allied models. um, the now it's added the you can move through the terrain features that are 4 or less. And the big deal here is that you can now move through terrain features that are 4 or more. You just have to take a roll 1d6, and if you roll a 1, you're battle shot. Okay, here's the big deal now. For 1 CP, monsters can now walk through buildings. And if you're playing at the RTT level or higher, I guess, because it's all the same layouts, this is huge now. Knights used to be able to do it with a stratagem. Now they can do it for free because it's just a thing of super heavy walker. They have to take the test. I hope that's where the monsters are going. I hope one day monsters will get the ability just to walk through the buildings and they have to take the 1d6 test. It's basically like a test. um, That's a big deal. That makes me want to play Crusher Stampede now because now we have monsters that can Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah, through buildings. Big deal. Okay, so Crusher got some love, and then these. There's a lot of good changes here. We got a lot of changes. So the Hive Tyrant, its aura now gives things. It used to do assault. Now it does assault and lethal hits. So keep in mind, lethal hits is your rolls of a 6. Your critical hits don't need to roll to wound now; they just automatically wound. That's really good. But check this out. Um, Neurolictors now give Synapse, which is going to be great because remember, everything that is within Synapse now has +1 strength. I'm going to skip that one. Broodlords and Parasite of Mortrex now have Shadow in the Warp and now have Synapse. So now we have more options to draft Shadow in the Warp. We have more people giving Synapse. Broodlords should have given Synapse anyways, just because they're going to be leading a unit of Gene Stealers. But now you have Gene Stealers at +1 strength, which is super cool. And it's cool to have the Parasite bouncing around out there, maybe giving somebody Synapse. I'm super excited about this one. The Neuro Tyrant can now lead Zonothropes. And where that becomes important is Node Lash. So with Node Lash, you give a +1 to hit, which means now the Zonothropes are hitting on 2 pluses. And there's even a circumstance with that one where you hit on, where you add 1 to wound. So now Zonothropes are going to be hitting way more. They weren't bad before; they were 3 pluses before, but now it's going to be way more. Molochs, Raveners, and Trigons now add Vanguard to their list, which is good. Um, if you're running a Vanguard list, that now means Raveners can move, advance, and charge. And also that with a Trigon is good. Uh, I like that a lot. I don't really like Molochs, so yeah. Go ahead and check out my videos for Trigons and Molochs. Um, Exocrines. Okay. So the big deal here with the Exocrine is it got an extra strength. And that's a big deal. Keep in mind the Synapse thing, getting the +1 strength, that's only for melee attacks. um, so the Bioplasmic Cannon got another 1 to strength. Here's the glow up. Here's the big win, in my opinion. The Rupture Cannon on the Tyrannifex. It's the same range, same attack, same ballistic skill. Keep in mind, if you don't move, you're shooting at a 2+, which is really good. Same strength, 18, same AP4. They fixed the damage. The damage was so swingy. It was 2d6, and now it's d6 plus 6. You're going to at least get 6. On average, you're going to get 9 or 10, depending on low or high side average. That's so good. We're going to blow up so many more vehicles now. We've needed it for such a long time. We've been waiting. We've been struggling with vehicles so much, and now we have a better answer. A better answer. This is it's changing. It's life changing because now I've always liked the Neuro Tyrant, but now 2 Neuro Tyrants leading 2 3-mans or 2 6-mans as Zonothropes. I have 18 Zonothropes. I love Zonothropes, so that's huge. Emissaries and Tyrants now strength 10 and Malceptors now strength 10 with their melee attacks. They're gonna rip Terminators apart. You're gonna get more Terminator kills and Blade Guard veterans and whatever their elite infantry choice is. You're gonna get more kills with your strength 10 attacks, and I'm so freaking excited about it. I want to play Crusher Stampede now because I can Kool-Aid Man through buildings. Oh yeah! So go ahead and check this out. You go to Warhammer Community and then downloads. It's right up there. We did lose in the Pariah Nexus the ability to have 0 CP units perform actions. So goodbye Ripper Swarms. But check it out. So I really enjoyed sharing this with you guys, and we at the Dragon's Lair understand you can spend your time anywhere on the internet. Thank you for spending your time here with us. at the Dragon's Lair.